We had been looking forward to our time in Lesotho for so long, but we weren't ready for what it would throw at us.
Yes, we made from bad to worse.
Yeah.
Yes, I cried.
We're Carla and Lida, and we traded a career ladder for a life on the road, wandering the world in our Land Rover Defender, PANGO. In this episode, we take on one of the highest countries on earth. Wander along for towering mountain passes, glimpses of traditional life, and 4x4 tracks that pushed us to our limits. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to you too. We slept last night in a little town called Lady Grey, and today we are heading to Lesotho. I'm very excited for our trip there next week.
Yes, but come help me first.
Oh, okay.
Can't get this closed. Yes, okay, ready. Just crossed the border into Lesotho, Tele Bridge border. It's quite painless, it's not too bad. Now we are surrounded by mountains. Lesotho is also called the kingdom in the sky, and it's literally a kingdom. It still has a king and also a democratic elected officials, but it still has a king.
And it is quite high. So the whole country is above 1,000 meters of elevation, which is unique in the world. Size-wise, it's only the size of Belgium. And I think 2.2 million people live here.
They say it's quite rural in most areas. People use a lot of horse and donkey transport still in some of the mountainous parts. And wear more traditional clothing. I remember that from when I was younger. So it's going to be a little bit different than South Africa, but interesting and beautiful.
We plan to visit Simonkong and the park
Seglabatebe, I think.
A few other places in between, and then exit via Sani Pass. That's the plan for next week. Join us for the ride. Carla was right, the border crossing was absolutely hassle-free, although we almost had to pay some kind of boat, bicycle, motorbike fee for our Maxtrax because the person at the border for a second thought they were like surf planks or boats or something like that.
We called it boats. We're supposed to pay tax for cars, motorcycles and boats. And he was sure this was, I don't know, but this was a boat.
Video. What do you think?
I think people are going to get sick of the greenness.
go surfing?
With my boat.
That is Mount Moorosi.
Telang, the owner of the campsite, explained us it is named after Chief Moorosi. He led a rebellion against the Cape Colony in the 19th century, operating from this mountain.
And that was sort of fortified. He had built walls and holes for them to shoot out of. They had a lot of guns and firepower. And they held out for like 7 months. It was 1879. Yeah, so they held out against the Cape Colonies. And this is apparently a grave for some of the Cape Colonists. I don't know if it's British, Boers, I think it's all of the above. And apparently they planted this tree because they know that's what the Western people like in their graveyards. And it is true, if we see a tree like this, we call it a graveyard tree.
First attack, Moorosi and his people managed to kill those British army, where we can see this big massive grave where they have buried 40 to 45 people. The second attack was in winter, where they managed to build a ladder. They climbed the mountain from the back. That is how he won the battle, according to the history. Every November, they gather here below the mountain to celebrate their grandfather. It's an annual event.
Besides his work in tourism, Telang is active in conservation, in particular preserving vultures.
They are under critically endangered species, so we say if we cannot do something now, maybe in the future they will be finished. So that's why we are having like bearded vulture program, so that we can teach people to conserve where they are living, because they are threats that they are facing.
What are the threats?
Main threats for the birds in our area is poisoning and traditional motives. Some people kill the birds for traditional purposes, and even the power lines like infrastructure, if maybe they collide in those, it's some of the threats they are facing. And even the hunger, because they don't kill for themselves, they only eat meat which is already dead. But if there's nothing to eat, now it's difficult for them to survive. And we even built some of the safe feeding place in our district, where we normally put carcasses so that the birds can come and feed for themselves. Okay. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
As part of conservation and protecting them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So since yesterday we've been driving along this river, and I do not know how to pronounce it. Senqu, but it's probably Senqu. I'm not quite sure which click sound the Q is. And but this is actually the origin of the Orange River.
Actually, on Google, it's already called Orange River.
Yes. But actually, I think in this country it's the Senqu, I don't know. But it becomes the Orange River as soon as it's in South Africa, which is one of our biggest rivers. It goes all the way to the border, it becomes the border of Namibia and South Africa, and it goes out into the Benguela stream there in the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, so this is it's actually a big origin of a large water source for South Africa.
Cheese.
Cheese. Not a bad lunch spot.
We've been driving for hours already. It's going up and down, up and down. Not a piece of straight road. There's something else in the car.
Oh man. Yes.
Milk gates.
Okay. Oh man. I'm very sensitive to smell, and one of the milk boxes got damaged and it leaked onto the carpet underneath the cupboards, so you can't get to it.
And it stinks.
And I don't know what to do. I'm gonna throw vinegar on there. Hopefully it seeps through and does something. I'm not sure.
We found it out yesterday. So the whole afternoon we've been, I don't know, trying to clean it and scrub it, but...
Yeah, but it's underneath there and it's milk. It's like a third person in the car.
The good thing is we're not far from Semonkong, famous for the waterfall of 192 meters high. The name?
Maletsunyani Falls.
Let's see if we can have a nice view.
Well, if the views would be something, I would call them dramatic, as would the next 20 hours be. But that we were only about to find out. It started here. Driving down this track didn't feel good. But since a local guide directed us downward, we went against our instincts. Once we felt our landies slipping down the last bit of the track, it was too late to turn around. We set up camp here, had a late lunch, but soon the rain started getting heavier. It didn't sit right with me, and I said to Carla, with more rain to come in the next 12 hours, this slippery slope will only be worse tomorrow. Shouldn't we try and drive out now, set up camp higher up, or drive to the campsite in town? She said I agree, and we packed up. We didn't film everything from that moment on, but this is what happened. First, we tried to trek, but without luck. We thought we had found two possible alternatives to skip the difficult lower part of the track. The one looked like a swamp, the other one was via a cornfield. We went for the latter, but that was a big mistake. We got ourselves in a horrible situation.
Yes, we managed from bad to worse. We couldn't get up a hill there, and we thought, okay, we'll sort of try and traverse it here on the ledge. It was much softer than we thought.
Ooh.
stuck with 3 wheels. And I think we've been trying now for 1.5 hours or so.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, I cried. Yeah. We're sort of level. Let's go sleep and endure the humiliation tomorrow of the people coming down here. Yeah, hopefully there are people who can help us. But yeah. Okay. Night, night.
The next morning, things didn't really look any better, to be honest. 3 wheels still stuck in the mud, but we had no option than to carry on. With an iterative approach of lifting Pango with the air jack, digging and packing stones, we tried to get the Maxtrax under the wheels and get Pango out of this bloody, muddy cornfield. A local guy came to help, and after a few hours, we finally got unstuck. Then came part 2. We took off heavy load like our roof boxes and jerry cans. We packed stones and moved the Maxtrax around. You can never really capture the true angle of a slope on camera, but believe me, this was steep. It took several attempts. Finally, we got out.
Oh man, what a shit show.
We're out. We just need to carry the stuff up the hill, and the guys are helping with the horse to bring it up. But bloody hell. I wish we could have enjoyed this. It is beautiful here.
But it was 20 hours of
Sheer panic. Oh man. But it could have been beautiful.
Yeah, we're full of mud and dirt.
I am, oh man. And this morning, the birds over there was like 5 massive birds of prey here, but they said that they live here, and that's a bad omen. It's a bad omen.
I didn't film all of it, obviously, and especially not the worst part, because I was trying to help as much as I could with moving the Maxtrax to a new spot, and sometimes just holding my breath while Carla was reffing Pango up the hill. All in all, it was just a horrible 20 hours. But I'm very grateful for the help of the 2 guys and their horse in the end. It's a better way of transport here, eh?
Yeah.
What was really scary was the moment where it was so slippery. So Carla was able to rev up the hill halfway. The wheels just started spinning. You were just sliding back the hill. Man, I can't believe we're out. I can't believe it. So yesterday we found this spot, washed everything.
Sort of everything.
Making coffee, and we're gonna relax a bit today.
Yes.
And study the Sani Pass.
Yeah, we're now having our doubts. So we are still busy cleaning up. You can see how this clay is still stuck to it. But we're very grateful for these Maxtrax. It saved us in a few places while trying to get out. Firstly, the air jack we used to lift the car, and at least we could get one Maxtrax underneath one of the 3 wheels that was stuck. And then the other places, the deep holes where we just couldn't get past and just kept slipping, we could use this with some rocks to give us a ramp. And Lida carried them next to the car and put them down where they needed to be. And luckily we were out of there.
Yeah, so these boats came in handy after all. Although I wish we had 4.
Yeah, it would have been better. Get your fingers in there.
Love. Just concrete.
Sticky concrete. You're not getting anywhere.
I'm not, but it's not helping if I put it in the water, eh? Cleaning the last bits and then we hit the road again. We changed our itinerary slightly. We planned to go to Seglabatebe National Park, but we lost some time due to all this. So now
we are going to take a road through the middle of the country, and we are heading towards Sani Pass. And it will be a few more days of sunshine, so we hope that Sani Pass is nice and dry. And we have none of this drama. It does not float my boat. Jono this morning, he said that there will be diesel here in Semonkong. I just wanted to check if it's this informal guys selling in the small cans, or is there a big petrol station somewhere? Okay. Then I'm gonna try here. Thank you so much. Okay, bye bye. Okay, this is the only option. Okay, let's see what we can get. Only get 10 liters.
not only are the diesel prices going up, like in the whole world currently, but there's also a shortage on diesel here and there. We also hear it from other people and in neighboring countries here in Southern Africa. Now driving out of Semonkong, we thought let's fill up. We heard there was still diesel available. We got to the pump, but there was a power outage, so the pump was not working. Luckily, people pointed us to a little shop on the street, and there we could buy the last 10 liters. It's not that we are out of, we'd just rather be safe than sorry, especially in the current circumstances. Who has right of way now?
I think the one with 4 feet.
Hey guys! Just had to go back to first gear.
Very optimistic.
Too optimistic, yeah. How could I think I could drive up this hill in second gear? So we're driving now on one of the main roads, I assume. It's the A3. You must not underestimate these passes, because don't think, oh, it's only 200 kilometers, we'll be there in a few hours. No. It will consume your day.
And your brakes.
Yeah, and our brakes. They're squeaking, but the views are amazing, so yeah, it's lovely to drive here. What do you think, Pango? Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome at our camp spot for the night. It was already dark last night and we pulled in here. We didn't want to drive all the way down to the river. I think people have done that before. But after our experience in the mud in Semonkong, we thought, well, let's just stay here on the grass.
Yeah, so we're having an early start just to try and get to Sani Pass, not too late in the day because that has closing times. And yeah, the A3 is taking much longer than we thought. It's up and down mountains, and the last, I don't know how many kilometers, 40 kilometers or so, which we drove now was just gravel road, which is quite cratery and not so fast to drive. So let's see how far we get. Hopefully we can make it to close to Underberg in South Africa by the end of the day. But it wasn't a bad stop. With the river in the background, it's the Orange River also. And all these sounds of the birds in the morning. We can't complain. But long day ahead of us, so let's get going.
Tears are bitter, won't take long before I'm back on you. So let the feelings simmer, but I know what I can't refuse. You're just like sunlight in a...
So this is what happens the whole time. We go down to the river and up the mountain, down to the river and up the mountain, and every time it's a few hundred to a few thousand meters, I think, almost.
Crawling. Oh. Lesotho.
It's still 83 kilometers of this, eh?
Yep. Morning.
Goes dark if I don't have it soon. Don't know how to be around you without making mistakes. I know I shouldn't see you when I'm in this state. Wish I could be off you, be sober for a day, but there's nothing like that sweet taste.
At places this road is in such a horrible condition. So many rocks. Lower you have a lot of clay too, which we are especially afraid of now, of course. And it's just holes and bumps, and it just keeps on going.
It's washed away in most places.
Believe it or not, they call this the A3. From Roma to Tsabatseka, it's a tar road. But from there, it's this.
Yeah, last night the last bit was okay. It's gravel, it was not too bad. But now, oh my goodness, I'm really glad we didn't do this last night.
I tell myself I'm stronger than the force of your lips on me. I've tried to go without you longer, but what for when it's you I need? Don't know how to be around you.
I'm not sure if we'll make it into South Africa today. It's going 10 kilometers an hour, so I'm not sure, honestly.
Without making mistakes, I know I shouldn't see you when I'm in this state. Wish I could be off you, be sober for a day, but there's nothing like that sweet taste. You're just like sunlight.
We didn't film the worst part, but this road is hectic. I officially declare this piece of road as the worst road we have driven ever.
It's just very steep and massive boulders, no road really, and in low range first gear, and still struggling certain sections. I could smell the tires in some places where it slipped. Oof.
With the Sani Pass still to come. We just realized we drove 27 kilometers in 2.5 hours. Can you believe it?
We really underestimated this.
Don't know how to be around you without making mistakes. I know I shouldn't see you.
Tar road.
Let's hope it keeps.
So we're above 3,000 meters. We're still climbing. And then we're gonna descend. I think 1.5 kilometer, like 1,500 meters descent. It is what we're gonna do in the next, I don't know, 30 kilometers?
Less?
Less, 25, yeah. So approaching the border on the Lesotho side.
Highest point, 3,240.
Wow, look at this. Are you in low range?
Not yet.
Please.
Okay, I'll do it now. No range.
And
Meh.
we're now in no man's land, so we just stamped out of Lesotho and now we have 9 kilometers of Sani Pass ahead of us until we reach the South African side of the border.
Yes.
It's a descent of 1,300 meters in 9 kilometers. And you're only allowed to drive this pass if you have a 4x4. So we're almost at the South African border post, which means we made it down the Sani Pass. Carla again did an amazing job driving. I think it's coming from the top, the first section that is quite steep, or nah, that is ridiculously steep. And a bit narrow here and there, but not too bad. And after a few kilometers, it's actually fine. And what helps is it's beautiful, the Drakensbergen on your left, this valley that you look over, little water streams, so much to feast your eyes on. So that helps me to with some distraction.
I'm glad it helps you, especially that you don't distract me then. But I understand why they say you have to have a 4x4. There's really some large rocks and you need eye clearance. And going up, I would assume you need some proper talk to go over some of those rocks. And I think it depends on the maintenance on the road. But I'm happy that we had this vehicle.
Yeah, Pango is proving its value today.
The funniest thing is that Sani Pass was not the worst bit of our road. Since our time in Lesotho is coming to an end, we've been reflecting a bit on how we planned and did this. And we might have overestimated how quickly we could get to different places. We underestimated the roads and what it would mean, and what the weather conditions would mean for the car. We're still glad we did it. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's definitely beautiful. And we hope you enjoyed it too, the ride with us. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.
Look what I found here. Some brake pads.
No, this is enough exposure therapy already for me. Is this really necessary?
I decided this was the place to change them. Oh man, okay.